Hiya. I thought I'd make a little video about today's reading because Acts chapter 5 can be a very difficult one to understand. So I've made a lot of notes over the years on it and thought it might be helpful. So it's quite dramatic, and on a bad day, I have actually got a bit stressed over this story about Annanias and Saphira. It appears that they made a mistake and they paid for it with their lives. But if we look into it, it's not quite as bad as that. They didn't actually make a mistake in the story. If we read it, they both independently, deliberately lied to God and to the church, if we read the account. And if you're worried that you might slip into that situation, it actually means that you don't need to be worried. It's like a bit like a child who's always working hard in class, and they're worried about not doing enough or worried about getting into trouble. They're the ones who won't get into trouble. And when I look through my notes that I've made from reading study Bible and such like, it appears that Annanias and Saphira may have been attempting to infiltrate the church because the church was prospering. So when the disciples were selling fields and giving the money to the church was doing really well, and that's how situations prosper. And Annanias and Saphira would have seen that, and they almost probably saw it as a worldly business type investment, and they probably thought, we'll put some into it, but we'll hold some back. And there was actually nothing there to suggest they were part of the church, or they were born again Christians, or that they were actually part of it at all. And one of the best things that I read is that it appears that God was a bit harsh there, but the note here says the shepherd's rod is for the wolves and not the sheep. It appears that they weren't the sheep of God's people, that they were wolves, these people, and that they got their comeuppance. Is clearly not the way that God treats his children. So let's be encouraged by that, and let's read on as well. Verse 12 onwards talks of a church moving confidently in the power of God, with signs and wonders, healings, people bringing the sick into their streets, so that even Peter's shadow might fall on them. How amazing is that? That's what it's all about. And even when the church came into persecution, they didn't let them stop. That persecution didn't stop them. And they just carried on, and eventually the authorities had to conclude, look, we've got to let them carry on, because if this activity is of human origin, it will fail. But if it is of God, then you will not be able to stop them. And 2,000 years later, this activity is clearly from God, and it is, and has proven to be across this world and in our lives, totally unstoppable. Hope that helps. God bless, and have a really good day.